power, baby! Yeah!
Welcome to video 2 of the modification, the engine power modification. If you just happen to be catching this video and you haven't seen the first one, you probably should go back and check that out. Not only do we show how we strip the bike down to the state, but we kind of go over all the things we're doing. We're going to try to increase the airflow of intake into the engine. Once combined with some custom tuning, we should see a good increase in power. Now there's two things I find very annoying about the air box on this bike. The first thing is what we have to do to get to this air filter. You have to remove a side panel, that's a couple bolts and a clip, and you have to remove these 5 sheet metal style screws, wood screws, whatever you want to call them. Air boxes, especially on anything that's meant to go in the dirt, I think should have a toolless system to get to and one that's very easy to remove. This is not very good. So we pop the door off though, I'll show you the second thing I dislike. And that is the air filter itself. Pull it out, there it goes. It's a paper unit. Paper filters on a dirt bike is dumb. We really should have a reusable filter in my opinion. I don't know why they built it this way. I do think that the system, the way this goes in and out with these clips on here is really nice. I think this is like a kind of a better system than the normal big sponge one on there. We have the big clip that goes over. I always feel like, is it really on right? It doesn't really ever give you the confidence. This does very confidently go on, so I will give them props. This is a good design. Probably not the most high flow. We got a huge backfire screen here. I can't do anything about the toolless system to get to this, but I can do something about this not being reusable. DNA, who is DNA? These guys are out of Greece, and they make what I would call basically better cannons, you know, like very nice high-end aftermarket filters, flow better, and they're rechargeable. And they make a unit for our 300. And oh my gosh, they sent me a lot of stuff. Yo, I got a hat. I got these little keychains. Is this a couple shirts? Thank you, DNA. DNA hooked me up with all this stuff here. I've got a filter as well as, looks like a couple service kits here. These service kits you can be used many a time, so that's really dope. The tricky thing with this filter is because the way it clips in like that, you can't just make a simple filter. You have to actually make the entire clipping door, which they do. So they've made one of those. Paper, restrictive, big backfire screen, high flow, rechargeable. It's this percent more high flow. They had it on the website. I don't remember off the top of my head. Now I know some of you may be thinking right now, Jake, are these good though on the dirt? Don't they let a lot of crap through? You've probably seen that Project Farm video. I know I've seen it, I love Project Farm. The K&N ones for sure can. What I can tell you is we have one on my MT-07, got it way too dirty. When we went on that trip to Oklahoma, I didn't even think about it. And when I got back from that trip, it's in a video, you can see I actually pulled the filter out. There was actually mud in the bottom of the filter. It's sort of like a cup and all the stuff goes into it, the air that gets filtered out. So there was like sitting mud in that thing and we pulled it out. I could take my finger with a white plastic glove on, my latex glove was wiping it and it was just clean in there. It was weird. I still on that bike after seeing that, just because I was like, man, this is intense. I put a pre-filter on top of it, and I just did that using a bit of this. This is some uni filter material, and that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna make a little square of it to sit right in front. DNA filter with a little bit of this in front of it. Is that gonna restrict the flow a little bit? Yeah, technically, it's still gonna be better than stock and it'll all be rechargeable and reusable. But wait, there's more. You may be thinking, Jake, what is this? Well, this is gonna be your new Snorkel. Let's go back over to the bike. On top of our air box, we see this, our Snorkel, this little guy right here. This is where all the air that goes into the air box has to start at. It's not very big, and it goes all the way down to here. So you may be thinking, why not just rip that thing out of there and cut a big hole in the top of it? You know, that's what like Deer Z's do and a number of other bikes. We could do that, we could, but I have come to appreciate what Snorkels can do. Any water gets up on top of this air box or comes down over the back fender, if we just have a giant gaping hole, then that water will just easily fall right into the air box. But a Snorkel, even a small one, kind of acts like a sort of gutter, if you will, sort of direct the water off and around it. They do kind of make sense. I think it would be good to keep some bit of a gutter on there, but this is just a bit much. So I looked on the forum pages and the message boards and all that, just horrible places nobody wants to go. And nobody really has done anything that I can see with the 300L, but the old 250L, there was a solution. A lot of people would go and get a 2-inch plumbing elbow, rip out the Snorkel, drill out the hole, glue in the big old 2-inch pipe thing. I could do that and I thought about it, but then I thought, no. This is a 300, we need a 3-inch. And then I thought, you don't have to get a plumbing elbow, these aren't much. And so I got this, a 3-inch just pipe coupler for an intake. This is silicone. What we can do with it though, it's important, is that, see, it's flexible because we're not gonna be able to just punch a straight hole if you saw from the shape of the top of it. This is gonna end up being kind of a shape probably like this. It's gonna be the same volume. So those are the parts, that's the filter. The first thing we should do is start messing with that snorkel. I'm just gonna try to twist it. All right, that's cool. I just wanna see if it was glued into place. Doesn't look like it is. Prying up on it, trying to get this lip to come through. 3 inches on the inner diameter, right? Oh my God, Honda. 1 point, what is it? It was like 1.3. There, oh my God, look, I just did that. I'm like that. More than double the size, plus doesn't have the big bend in it. We can confidently say that we've got twice the airflow, more than twice, double the power, double the horsepower, that's right. We'll see when we go back to the dyno. We can kind of shove this thing in here. I can roughly kind of get it into a shape that is probably gonna be what it's gonna need to be. This will give me a rough sort of start about where I need to start making some cuts on here. I don't know what I'm doing. I put this old dish rag back here and I put the stock filter back in because this is obviously gonna shoot plastic everywhere, and what's the best thing to stick in there? The filter we're not gonna use anyway. Oh, this is very commit. So we've been keeping at it. The hole's pretty big. I went ahead and removed the rear fender piece right here just to give me a little more room. After I got this thing where it's pretty much in the right shape, I actually switched to this bit just to clean it up. You gotta go real slow with one of these. Get this in here, I think it's best to kind of take it, sort of fold it kind of like this, push it in. Once it's in place, it's nice and snug. It's funny is you probably don't even have to glue it. It would be fine just like that. Just look at that difference. I mean, this one literally like goes inside this one now, you know, it's We just need to clean this all up really good and then we'll glue it. I'm just wiping this hole down with some rubbing alcohol now. I also went and did the same thing to our silicone piece that's gonna go in here. Saying everything's clean, I put some gloves on. Got this guy, let's give it a little fold. And we'll stick it in our hole, man. Push this down towards almost touching the filter on the inside. Leave a little gap in there. Max power! If I gotta glue this thing in, and I'm gonna use some marine weld from JB Weld. If you're not mixing your JB Weld on a random piece of cardboard from the project that you're working on, what are you doing? I think I've got it pretty well glued now, pretty well smeared all around there. After it kind of set for a minute, I went back around with an alcohol and kind of cleaned up like an edge around the top to make it look a little cleaner, as well as kind of the air box. It's not perfect, and I thought this was pretty smart, right? I'm a genius, but once I had a good smear of it around, I actually pushed the whole thing down a little, then back up a little. So it's not just surface level, it's gonna be really between the two now. Basically 24 hours, that'll be dry. In the meantime, pre-filter. Air is going to go this way through it. So here's what I'm thinking. We need to make a square that's basically the outside diameter of this square. The two of them combined, I'm sure we're going to have a good amount of filtration going. See the edge of the other one right there? 2 notches, because this rubber actually pushes all the way up in there. Yeah, it's definitely snug to get it in there, but that's it. All we're going to do now is oil this pillow on here and you let it sit. It just absorbs all throughout. And for this guy, this is the stuff you want to put on it. Oh, look at that fan in action there. Both of those have got oil on them. They really should sit now. That stuff's tacky. Overnight, forgot to show y'all, look at this, sealing grease. So we'll actually put this on the seal. This will help it really seal. We'll let this dry out overnight. We'll let our glue dry out overnight. Come in here tomorrow, and I'll be wearing a DNA shirt, just like this. See? You can now put that together and put it on the bike. This side of the filter, we can see it's got the foam bit on it. This one's just straight rubber. So we're gonna take our sealing grease here, get a little bit on your pinky here. We're gonna put this just around the edge of this thing, like so. But I like that they thought of this and actually sent it. It's gonna give us a little extra protection. There we go, that should be enough. That means we need to put, how you doing? Okay. Cops had to come talk to me. I didn't do anything wrong. This goes here, and then this goes like this. I gotta get those little tabs. I gotta go up into there. That looks pretty happy there. There's 2 notches here in the back that correlate to these guys, and because it's all tight like this, I'm gonna have to make sure I'm pushing these down, really getting that into that back bit there to start. The good thing is I can get my hand in there. I can feel this. Just gotta compress it a little bit. There it is, that's in. And we just gotta push it up. It
looks more dirt bike, doesn't it? You know, we got a foam filter now.
I'm pretty satisfied with that. I think we can button this up now and call that good. Because this is like a sheet wood metal style screw going into a plastic hole, we don't want to just stick these in and just start turning. We'll basically be cutting new threads every time we do that, which means you only have a finite amount of time that you can open and shut this. So what we want to do is we want to stick them in, and anyone who's seen my videos have seen this a lot, I know, but take it, put a little bit of light pressure on it, we're going to spin it backwards, and watch what's going to happen. You see what happened there? Let's do it again. And we'll go all the way back around. Right there. See, it fell into the old threads. Then we just want to lightly turn it to make sure, and you know, as long as it's threading in easy, we know we're in the old threads there. That one went in right there. It's pretty easy to do. Just takes a couple extra seconds versus how you would normally do it. There it is. Once they're all in, we'll just snug them down. We'll go in a somewhat crisscross order. I need to crank them so it's all buttoned up. I wish I could like start it and test it for you in this particular video, but this is a series of things we're all doing at once and getting tuning done. But I'm sure that's got to help be a better difference. If nothing else, it's at least a serviceable filter now. And we've technically done something to add power now, or at least lean the bike way out. The next video, which I'm going to start here in just a second, you'll see me wearing the same shirt. Well, let's go ahead and remove all the emission stuff. Not technically a horsepower gaining thing. That video is already out on Patreon. You can go see that right now. They're always a video ahead, and the videos are ad-free and uncensored. The best part is you can join my Discord and hang out in there and BS with me. They've already seen all this stuff. They're basically live what's happening with I've just been kind of updating them, sending them pictures, and we were on the video last night and they were calling me dumb or whatever, you know, that's what they do. Check that out, help support this channel. We're getting there, man, we're getting there. See you next video.